My CPA says $650,000 isn't even close to enough to retire. Help! It's an email I received from a very nice lady. She says, I'm glad, I'm not sure where she's from. I think New Jersey. I think it's from Karen from New Jersey. Josh, I'm so glad to see you give an example that you can live on $200,000 or $300,000 in a portfolio in which to retire. I literally asked my New Jersey CPA several years ago if my $650,000 IRA was a good amount. He said, no, not really, and made a face like I was asking a dumb question. Then he said, well, it's not that bad, but it's still really not enough. Yeah. The sad thing is I know he's wrong, but it still irritates me that he put me down by saying it wasn't good at all. Man, that was harsh. And I'm still trying to get over it. I doubt he even has that much money. I was really bummed at the time. He doesn't know what my expenses are, and he really should never have said that. Karen is hitting on the head. If they don't know what your expenses are, screw them. I mean, literally, there's nothing. If they don't know what your expenses are, screw them. You cannot build a financial plan without knowing the expenses. Man, it is green. Look at this. I'm going to show you outside. Look at that. I don't know if y'all can see that. You see that green? Oh, man, freaking gorgeous. Look at that. It's a beautiful day here in Georgia. A little bit on the chilly side. It's windy. Look at that. It's not a cobalt wind, but a sky, but look at that. Look at that. Jeez, man. That's just gorgeous. I would be doing this outside, except for the fact that, there's Betsy, except for the fact that it's windy and it's chilly out. Anyway, so Karen, don't sweat it. You're going to be fine. I mean, look, you're going to be fine, assuming that your expenses are moderate to low. I don't know. I mean, I would say just from pure ballparkish, and I guess, you're saying, against what you just said. Well, let's just say you have $650,000. We take 5% a year off that, 0.05. That's $32,500 a year. Say you're making $50,000 on average of Social Security. That's about $1,800 a year, a month. $1,850 times 12. It's $22,000 plus the $35,000 we just talked about. Did I say 35 or 32,000? 22 plus 32 is what I said. That's 22 plus 32. That's 54,000 right there. How much of that would be taxed? I don't know. I have to look into it. It wouldn't be much. Off the top of my head, I can't. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's think of this out. I'm interested. 54,000, of which 22,000 is Social Security. So 22 is Social Security. That's 11,000 provisional. 11,000 goes towards your provisional income. Like my horns. And then we got, 32,000 from IRA. And I can't tell if she is married. I'm going to say she's single. I don't know. $43,000. So $43,000 is your provisional income. Again, how much of that is going to be subject to taxation? Your Social Security. Well, we know the first 25, none. So you know 25 to 34 is 9,000, and 34 above is 85%. So we take 43,000. We know the first 25,000, none of that's subject to income tax. The next 9,000, 4,500 that will be, and then the next we got 9,000. So 43,000 minus 34,000 is 9,000 times 0.85. So 43 is 9 times 0.85, 7650. All right, so 7650 and 4,500 plus 4,500. So we know 7650 plus 4,500. 12,000 of your Social Security will be subject to income tax. 12,150 of Social Security will be subject to income tax, plus the $32,000 you had in IRA distributions, assuming it's all. Well, you did say it's all from an IRA. So we got that'd be $44,150 will be your taxable income. If you're single, we'll say 13,600 is your standard deduction. Let's see, 44,150 minus 13,600. Not off the top of my head, I don't know how old she is. That means your taxable income is 30,550. So you can have 30,550 in taxes. I think the first 10,000 at this 10%. I don't have my little tax chart. So the first 10,000 will be subject to 10% taxes. The next, and then the next amount will be subject to 12%. So 20,000 will be subject to 12%. 20 times 0.12. 2,400 would be your taxes on the next amount, and 10,000. So roughly $3,400 of income tax. So you'd be making $54,000 of total income, of which $3,400 would be subject to tax. Most states do not have any taxes on that at all. So even after tax, you're going to be netting $51,600. I mean, that's you can live off that, I presume. I mean, you can live off that without even blinking an eye. I mean, it's just no big deal. So now so let's just say you need $4,000 a month to live on. Well, you got it without even blinking an eye. You don't need to do an annuity. We don't need to do anything fancy schmancy Social Security planning. And I got to tell you, if you got $650,000 in your 401k, you probably did better than $50,000 a year in income. No, I don't know. I'm just using that for a number. It might not be, but man, you gotta stop sweating this. Not you, Karen, but just you. Well, actually, yeah, you too, because you said I'm looking at the notes. That was real harsh. I'm still trying to get over it. The way the CPA, it's like no bedside manners. These guys, and it drives me up the wall. I mean, $650,000, man. You are doing much better than the vast majority of Americans. And because of that, the idea you walked out of the office thinking that you'd no way you're going to be able to retire. I'll never forget. I had this. My first client, since I went on my own, he was a doctor, and I forgot what kind of a teaching doctor. I can't remember, but anyway, and she worked part time. I think they had like $1.5 million, and they had a house paid for. I can't remember the whole story, but they were making money. Nice folks, nice, liberal, but nice. And so that's what I'm saying. Liberals can get along with conservatives. I'm not even a conservative. I'm a libertarian, but still, at the end of the day, it's not a false dichotomy where political disagreements clash. You can still agree to be humane and and kind to other people, even if you don't agree politically. You got to get over this Facebook propaganda stuff. But anyway, so in this case, it was nice folks without question, and they were. I think she said she thought she was told by someone at USAA they needed $6 million to retire on, and they had like 1.3. I can't remember the whole story, but I just remember it's freaking nuts, man. It was nuts, and it actually ticked me. It still ticks me off. How many financial advisors, how many CPAs are leaving people out in the just in the cold, like Karen here with $650,000, and they're like, I can never retire, and she goes, it took me a long time to get over it. I was really bummed out. It's ignorance. It's ignorance. But the problem with ignorance is one thing to be ignorant, because when you're ignorant means you just don't know. If you don't know, it's okay to say, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be okay until I know your expenses. But for someone to sit there and say you don't have enough, man, like I said at the beginning, screw that. All right. I hope this helps, Karen. You're doing just fine. See ya.